Let's talk about the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander, Best of the Worst. That's the top 3 cards from that set that are seeing play in 1% or less of decks since that set's release, according to EDH Rec. Coming in at number 3, we have Stormfleet Negotiator. For 2 and a blue, we get a 2/2 creature, Siren Pirate with flying, and Parlay. Whenever Stormfleet Negotiator attacks, each player reveals a top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a map token. Then, each player draws a card. Stormfleet Negotiator is really interesting. I don't think you slam it in just any deck. When it comes to Parlay, you really need to be breaking parity in order to justify its slot in your deck. I think with this one, what that means is it goes in the decks that really care about either artifact tokens or any artifact entering the battlefield in general. If you've got a deck like that, this can do a lot of really cool stuff for you. The maps themselves aren't particularly interesting, but the fact that you can make 4 of them a turn is pretty good. Coming in at number 2, we have Bygone Marvels. For 2 green, we have a sorcery with Descend 8. When you cast this spell, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, copy this spell twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. Return target permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Bygone Marvels. On its face, Bygone Marvels is bad regrowth, and we don't really play regrowth in the Commander format anymore. The reason behind that is we have cards like Eternal Witness and other cards like Eternal Witness, creatures that enter the battlefield and get you something back. This one only gets permanents, so it's a little bit hindered on top of that. However, I still think that if you're in a deck that is really dedicated to self-mill, then you can get this Descend 8 trigger very consistently. Then Bygone Marvels is at least worth considering in that deck because getting 3 things back for 2 mana is incredibly efficient. Best of the Worst is Contest of Claws. For 1 and a green, we get a sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. If excess damage was dealt this way, discover X, where X is that excess damage. Contest of Claws is a conditional sorcery speed removal that only hits creatures, so I can see people's trepidation on not putting it in their decks right away. However, where this becomes really exciting is in mono green and green red decks. Those decks don't deal with creatures particularly well, so this is already doing something that you want to be doing, which is either fighting or biting, using your creature's power to remove creatures. If you are doing that already, then you probably have large creatures in your deck. So if you are that Timmy player and you know who you are, and you've got those big Galtas or Eldrazi or whatever in your deck, then you want to be playing Contest of Claws, because when you get to do 12 damage to something that has 5 toughness and you're doing this massive discover on top of removing it, the mana advantage is out of this world and it's perfect for those casual decks. That's it for Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander, Best of the Worst. I thought the cards that we found for this one were really cool. It is possible that they just haven't been adopted by the main player base yet, as the set is pretty fresh, but let me know what you guys thought about my picks, and let me know if I missed anything.